What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of the Patel Kumar Show. I'm your host, Shiva Patel, coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. And my co-host, Mr. Kumar, coming to you live from Mumbai, India. We would like to welcome our new audience for this episode, 3BL fans, and welcome to India's first and only live NBA YouTube talk show. And we're very excited to have your commissioners going to be joining us, Mr. Rohit Bakshi, later in the Indian third cast segment of the show. But Mr. Kumar, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patel. And I see that you're excited that the Lakers are coming to your town, that is San Antonio, where they'll be playing the Spurs that is tonight, and of course on the New Year Day, I suppose. But that's going to be a great opportunity for you. I don't know if you'll be able to go to the games or not because they still haven't allowed those players. But welcome, everyone. And of course, welcome to our new viewers as well from the 3BL channel. And we're going to have a very, very exciting show. We're going to recap the NBA. And of course, we're going to have your commissioner, Rohit Bakshi, making a huge announcement on this very channel, the first YouTube NBA talk show, which is the Patel and Kumar NBA talk show. Welcome, everyone, and a very happy birthday to the King, LeBron James.
Yep, happy birthday, King. I hope he has a great day. I hope the Spurs ruin his birthday by getting the W, but I hope LeBron has a great day. At age 36, still playing at an incredibly high level, so major props to LeBron James, Mr. Kumar. But let's first get started with our NBA section. So let's talk about the NBA season. It's officially a week in. We've had some great games, Mr. Kumar, some great teams really play really well so far. So the NBA storylines, let's talk about the opening night games first, Mr. Kumar. So of course, the Nets ended up beating the Golden State Warriors pretty handedly, and the Clippers ended up beating Mr. Kumar's Lakers. So what are your biggest takeaways from these two games, Mr. Kumar, starting with the Nets and the Warriors?
Well, I can be, more excited because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant have been on a roll. They've been playing excellent basketball, especially Kyrie Irving. He scored 26 points in that game, and Durant with 22 points. Very good support from Chris Levert as well. Of course, not a great game for the Golden State Warriors. They're a little bit short-handed, especially they're really facing a lot of problems with the absence of Klay Thompson. I don't think Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre can really manage the absence of Klay Thompson. But Curry had 20 points. But the revelation for the Golden State Warriors, I think, is their rookie, James Wiseman.
Yeah, James Wiseman really came in the third quarter. He's really great, running the floor. He's really long, really athletic. He showed a jump shot, Mr. Kumar, from 3 in mid-range, and it was very fluid and very smooth. So I was very impressed with James Wiseman. And like you said, the Warriors finally got their first win against the Chicago Bulls. They're going to struggle this year because all the team's game plan is going to be towards, Steph Curry. But I really like this Brooklyn Nets team, Mr. Kumar. They can score easily. They play defense. Of course, Spencer Dinwiddie is a huge loss. Hopefully he can get well soon and maybe come back for the end of the season. Who knows? But the Nets look good, Mr. Kumar. They took care of business against the Warriors, took care of business against the Celtics. Then they lost to the Charlotte Hornets and Atlanta Hawks. But I think that the Nets are looking pretty strong, Mr. Kumar. And Aparna, she's saying Shivam go Lakers, so she's on Mr. Kumar's side. But Vivek also in the comments from Facebook says go Spurs, so go Spurs, go Spurs, go. So I think we should have a pretty good game tonight, Mr. Kumar, and hopefully the Spurs can get the W, as I said.
Yeah, well, you do have a Spurs friend that in Vivek Dixit.
First Spurs fan,
so you're pretty even out there right now among the fans. But the second game, I think, was the most, everybody was talking about is the Lakers playing the Clippers. And it was a great game, I thought. But in the first half, it was I think the Lakers came out pretty slow. The Clippers had all the answers. But I think the Lakers tried to catch up somewhere in the second half. But I think they just fell a little bit short. But I think Paul George was a total contrast of himself, what he was in the bubble. And he was hot from the field, scoring 33 points for the Clippers. But a good thing for the Lakers was, of course, Montrezl Harrell and Schroeder getting in some points and getting some good support. I particularly don't think the LeBron and Anthony Davis really played a great game on the opening night. And Bhushan, thank you very much, and a very happy New Year as well to you. Of course, this will be our last show of the year, season 2, episode 2, but we'll be coming back again on January 14th. But coming back to the Lakers and Clippers, yeah, lots to talk about, because I think everybody will be talking about the Clippers and the Lakers throughout this season, and everybody is going to keep an eye on both these teams, because of course, the Lakers are expected to go all the way, and the Clippers have to redeem themselves after what happened last season.
Right, and the Lakers, I'm not too worried about Mr. Kumar. You know, that first game, they got the rings. It was a very special moment. You know, they put all their families on the, Jumbotron, introducing them and everything. It was very touching. So Lakers weren't really ready to play, but they really bounced back in their next 2 games. So they looked very impressive against the T-Wolves. But the Clippers, Mr. Kumar, what can I say? Is this the same Clippers as last year? They were down by 50 points to the Mavericks Sunday night, 77-27. So Clippers, like you said, have to prove themselves. But Lakers, they're going to take this season kind of easy, with the load management and everything, because, they came only 71 days in between, from when they won the championship to when the season started this year. But I think the Lakers role players really need to step up. Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol finally hit a couple of shots, Dennis Schroeder. But I'm not worried about the Lakers. I think they're well coached, and they'll be ready when the playoffs come. So, but I think the Lakers, though, are right now, you can see the hands down the best team in the Western Conference, because they have the depth, and then they have 2 superstars, top 5 players in the NBA with LeBron and Anthony Davis, who already have really good chemistry.
Absolutely. I think let's move on to our Christmas Day games. I don't think it was a really exciting Christmas Day because most of the games were pretty lopsided. I think, there was like more than 20-point difference in pretty much each and every game. But I think overall, I think the Lakers played a great game against Dallas. The Clippers, of course, were expected to beat Denver, and they did so, because their last meeting wasn't, of course, a good result for the Clippers. So that expectation was there that the Clippers would go to Denver and probably, win this game. But overall, I think it was a very long Christmas Day, but not too many exciting games.
There really wasn't. The games were close, like initially in the first half, but then they just became too one-sided, Mr. Kumar. And I think the better team won on the Christmas Day. The Heat are better than the Pelicans. The Bucks are better than the Warriors. Nets are better than the Celtics. The Lakers are better than the Mavs, and then the Clippers are better than the Nuggets. But, Christmas Day games are very tricky, because the players are still trying to, enjoy their holiday, but then they have to go and play, these games. But I think it was overall good performance, overall by all these teams. And I think the ratings were pretty good for the NBA. And what more can you ask for, basketball on Christmas? So I was enjoying it despite the one-sided games. And I'm sure you were too, Mr. Kumar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, considering the timing in India, I pretty much got to mainly watch the Lakers game and the Clippers game, because it started like early in the morning, because I did catch a glimpse of the New Orleans Pelicans playing the Miami Heat. But I think, overall, I think most teams are having like a mixed season. Of course, the top teams haven't been able to like dominate most games. There's been, of course, the Clippers, who have lost, by 50 points to the Dallas Mavericks. So on and so forth. Brooklyn Nets, 1, 2, 3 on Christmas. Yes, of course. Aloysius, thank you for that. I think you are a Brooklyn Nets fan, along with Mr. Patel here. So, of course, he has predicted that the Brooklyn Nets are going to go all the way and win the championship, but we got to wait a long way for that. But overall, I think this has been a pretty mixed season. I know we'll see the standings pretty soon right now. But I think from the standings, you can see that a lot of the teams who are not in the bubble are probably getting a little bit of an advantage, because they had a longer rest in terms of, coming back into the season. So you can see like Atlanta Hawks, Orlando Magic, Cavaliers, everybody. I mean, pretty much right at the top of the table right now. But of course, nobody expects these teams to qualify apart from the Hawks. The only two unbeatable teams in the NBA right now is the Magic at 4-0 and the Hawks at 3-0. But great game for Trae Young. He's been playing really well this season.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the Atlanta Hawks, Mr. Kumar. They're 3-0, like you said. The only other undefeated team is the Magic. And the Hawks have completely dominated. They completely wiped the floor with the Chicago Bulls in the first game. They won a tough game against the Memphis Grizzlies and then beat the Detroit Pistons. But they're going to have a test tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. And hopefully Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving should play tonight because they've already, rested a couple games. So that should be a good test for the Atlanta Hawks. And the Hawks are doing this, Mr. Kumar, without Gallinari. Gallinari's been out for the first 3 games. But I've really been impressed with the shooters around Trae Young. Bogdanovich has played really well, shot really well. John Collins is holding it down inside. Capella's still kind of coming back, getting his legs underneath him because he didn't really play that much last year. DeAndre Hunter's taking that step. So I think this Hawks team is deep. And of course, they have Rajon Rondo, who Mr. Kumar knows very well, being the backup point guard with the Los Angeles Lakers last year. So he'll be a great mentor to these young guys. So the Hawks, I don't think they're going to be a top 5 seed, Mr. Kumar, but they're going to be a factor in the playoffs for sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, they're a great young team to watch out for, and probably they have a good chance of coming into the top 8 in the East. And I think we both have predicted that they would probably qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's a long season away. It's just been a week since the season has started. But I think I'm very surprised by the Orlando Magic because, of course, they won 2 games back-to-back against the Washington Wizards. Even with Bradley Beal and, Russell Westbrook actually playing really good basketball. But I think the problem with Washington Wizards is they really don't have that third, player who can support them yet.
Right.
So probably, I mean, I have predicted that the Washington Wizards might qualify, but they are 0-4 right now. So they have a tough situation. So I don't know if they're going to prove me wrong in terms of not qualifying for the playoffs. But the good thing about Orlando Magic is that they haven't really relied on one single person so far in the season, in the 4 games. The first game, it was Evan Fournier. In the second game, it has been, Markelle Fultz. Vucevic has also contributed heavily in the third game. So they're pretty much, Aaron Gordon is still to really come of age in this particular season. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good sign for a team like the Magic who may be, trying to fight for that, 6th, 7th, 8th position in the East.
They're really talented, Mr. Kumar. You don't think that the Magic would maybe have good players, but they really do. Like, Aaron Gordon, Vucevic, Markelle Fultz, Fournier. So they have great shooting. They have a deep team, and they're athletic. But I think, like you said, they've been hovering around the eighth range, but they're gonna, put a lot of pressure on a lot of teams. So like when they play the Orlando Magic, it's not gonna be an easy walkover game anymore. So they're gonna put a lot of pressure, and they're well coached with Steve Clifford. So I'm excited to see where this Magic team's going to go. But with the Wizards, Mr. Kumar, they had a chance to win that first game against the Sixers. They were up pretty much the entire game, but it was just too much Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid towards the stretch. And like you said, perfectly, that they didn't have that third star. So the Sixers really shut down Westbrook and Bradley Beal, and they were giving the ball to Hachimura or Avdija, the rookie. So I think that really came to show, for the Washington Wizards. But for the Western Conference standing, Mr. Kumar, the Clippers are number 1 at 3-1. Also, the Suns are pretty high up there, as well as the Kings. So what is your biggest takeaway from these Western Conference standings?
I mean, we all knew that the West is going to be a very, very tough conference, and it's not so easy, to be in the top 8. And it's just too early in the season, as you have seen in the past week, it's been a mixed bag for most of these teams. But I really like the Suns and the Kings. The Kings have been playing very aggressive basketball, especially with De'Aaron Fox. But I think it's too early to really comment on how good the Kings are going to be. But the Clippers, of course, I mean, they had a great opening night. And of course, they're going to be the opening night champions for the second time in the season against the Lakers. But what matters is what happens at the end of the season.
Right.
But again, I mean, they had probably one of the worst games in the history of basketball, which is against the Dallas Mavericks. And the
That
Dallas
was
Mavericks had
brutal.
just lost a game by more than like almost 20 points against the Lakers just a couple of nights ago, and trailing by 50 points in the half. I mean, that's never heard of in the shot clock era of basketball. And and they only scored 27 points in 24 minutes of the first half. So the game was already done. What I didn't like about Clippers in that game is that they didn't really make an effort in the second half in terms of trying to make a comeback. They just let it
Right.
go right in that first half, and they ended up losing by 51 points. At the end of the game. But I think it's going to be a very, very tough situation for Tyronn Lue, and of course, it brought glimpses of Pandemic P. Back again
Hitting the
in
backboard
that
or hitting the
in
side
that
of the basket. Yeah.
yeah. So in that particular game, and of course, he did comment also that I mean, it was all on him. But at the end of the day, of course, they lost Leonard to that gruesome injury when Ibaka hit him with his elbow accidentally. But
Yeah.
there's no update yet on when he's going to make a comeback. But he did have 8 stitches because due to that big blow, and of course, he was bleeding
Yeah.
all over the floor. I mean, it was like somebody
It was a
just like
bloodbath.
yeah. I mean, it was like somebody clotheslined him or something.
Oh man, it looked like a movie, Mr. Kumar. Where he completely gets like decked, and there's just all this blood on the floor, and it was pretty scary to watch. And remember, stay tuned. In a couple minutes, we're gonna have 3BL Commissioner Rohit Bakshi join us live on the show to make a special announcement. So you do not want to miss that. But really quick, Mr. Kumar, let's talk about our Player of the Week. So far this week in the season, for me, it has to be Trae Young because he's put on some incredible performances. 29 points, 36 points, 37 points. He's the first player to score over 100 points in 3 games, Mr. Kumar, while attempting less than 50 shots. And also he has more assists than he has missed shots this season, 22 assists. So he's been playing out incredible, out of this world, and that he's a big reason why the Hawks are 3-0.
Absolutely. Yeah. Stay tuned, everyone. We're going to have Rohit Bakshi, the commissioner of 3BL. And, while we're talking about Player of the Week, I also chose Trae Young to be the player of the week for myself. Of course, everybody thought that Harden was also the top player of the week, but I think that's only because he scored those 44 points and 17 assists in the loss against Portland Trailblazers. Of course, McCollum also scored 44 points in that particular game. But I mean, he's been partying nonstop, and he just comes back and scores 44 points. I mean, that's just amazing for that dude. I would give him a lot of credit for going to strip clubs, partying, and then comes back and scores 44 points.
Oh man, like he shows that he can do kind of both. He can stay up all night, have a good time. The next game, drop over 40 points. That's pretty impressive. And he looked good. He did look a little chunky, Mr. Kumar, like he gained an additional 10 to 15 pounds. But despite his being a little overweight, he still looked very smooth, very fluid. He was getting to his spots. Impressive game by James Harden.
Absolutely, and he needs this. He needs this because he has been the point of discussion for the last, almost a month since the request for the trade, and he needs to bring his stock up if he needs some team to make the offer to the Houston Rockets. And I mean, I would have been very surprised if he had let go and probably not performed to his expectations, but he keeps us reminding that he's James Harden, a 2-time scoring champion, a former MVP. So, I mean, I don't think he's, waning off anytime soon.
Oh no, he's not. He's still going strong, especially at his age. He's one of the greatest offensive players, in the game today and in the history. But let's move on, Mr. Kumar, to the team of the week. So I want to hear your team of the week first. So let's see, is Mr. Kumar going to choose the Lakers or not? Let's hear this.
Well, I'm not really particularly impressed about the Lakers this first week because I think they're just trying to come up with the best combination in terms of their lineup as well. Because of course they had Anthony Davis miss a game, they had Alex Caruso who missed the last game against Portland, and I don't think they really played particularly well against Portland. They had the lead; they could have probably contained them in the second half, but Dame Lillard, just took over the game in the second half.
Yeah.
And so I think, and of course, I mean, Gary Trent Jr., man, I mean, he was off the hook, that night. And Derek Jones Jr. also did defensively very good against LeBron James. So I think the Lakers really have to come of age in terms of finding the right combination, finding the right finisher, for that last quarter. So I think they'll try to do some permutations and combinations. But my choice for the team of the week is the Orlando Magic because they're 4-0.
Good choice, Mr. Kumar. And I'm going to pick the other undefeated team, the Atlanta Hawks, for the reasons that I stated earlier. Their depth. Trae Young is really emerging as a superstar. He's probably going to make an all-star team, again. Wait till Clint Capella comes back. Well, he's already back, actually, but wait till he gets his legs underneath him. They can literally go 10 deep, Mr. Kumar. Like, they have an incredibly awesome bench. They have a lot of three-point shooters. They're gonna score a lot of points. But really what impressed me with the Hawks and watching them these first 3 games of the season is their defense. Coach Lloyd Pierce has really emphasized we need to play defense. We can't just outscore people. And they're really getting into them. Trae Young is getting a lot of steals. They're contesting shots, making it tough on the opponent. So I've been really impressed with the Hawks. And this is without Gallinari. And they've pretty much won the free agency, and it's really coming into fruition, in the first 3 games of the season. And Aparna, I agree with you. The Brooklyn Nets looking good. That is, like Mr. Kumar said, that is my finals pick to win the championship this year. So I'm fingers crossed that the Brooklyn Nets are going to take it home.
Well, I mean, most people chose the Nets as the team to watch out for and chose as the team of the week. The Lakers coming in second. I really thought that the Brooklyn Nets actually had a very bad loss against the Charlotte Hornets, even with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant playing in that game. I thought, Terry Rozier played a fantastic basketball game.
Terry.
Yeah. And, of course, Spencer Dinwiddie got injured in that particular game. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a very bad loss for the Brooklyn Nets team, especially against a very young team like the Charlotte Hornets. But Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, they played excellent basketball, and that's how they won the game. But once again, I mean, in a few minutes, we'll have a great announcement for you from the commissioner of 3BL, Rohit Bakshi, who's going to join us live on this very show on the Indian Tadka section.
Yes, so Mr. Bakshi is going to be joining us, like Mr. Kumar said, in a few minutes. We can't wait to see what the live announcement he's going to make. But just quickly, just wrapping up the NBA section, the Nets are going to get everybody's best shot, Mr. Kumar, but that comes with being a great team. So they need to be ready. They had enough depth that they still should have won this game, Mr. Kumar. They should have just fed Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie ended up going out. DeAndre Jordan needed to play better. He was getting, outplayed by Bismack Biyombo. So I think you needed, better post play from the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie and Kevin Durant did their thing, but I think the Hornets did a great job of letting them get their points, but stopping the others around them, because that would make the Nets really dangerous in the first 2 games of the season. So, but the Nets, that was unexcusable, Mr. Kumar. I completely agree with you. They ended up losing to the Grizzlies. I'm happy for our friend, Coach Taylor Jenkins, that they were able to get their first victory. Prayers to John Moran. I hope he's able to recover. He should be back in about 3 to 5 weeks. But this is going to be a big game tonight, Mr. Kumar, U.S. time. The Nets and the Hawks. Can the Nets get back to their winning ways, or will the Hawks continue to stay undefeated? So I'm going to be glued to my couch watching this game tonight.
And of course, to spite you, I'm going to support the Atlanta Hawks.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so I'm going to be flipping back and forth between the Lakers and the Spurs and the Hawks and the Nets. So we had some great NBA basketball. I can't wait. The NBA season is back. So, and Perno, I agree with you that Trae Young is on fire and he's making the case to be an early MVP and an All-Star. So we'll see if he can keep up this pace.
Yeah, I did see a Kuzma fan in the audience. I was like, who is
Oh, okay.
that? Shahid Ali Mansouri is, I think, a Kuzma fan, but I think
Okay.
maybe Kuzma would be partying right now because he has a fan.
Right, exactly. This is the first Kyle Kuzma fan that we've heard. Hey, he got 40 million, Mr. Kumar, and he's playing well for the Lakers. So can he be that third scorer that the Lakers thought he was going to be, or is he going to be regular Kyle Kuzma who never met a shot that he doesn't like? He just jacks him up, Mr. Kumar. But we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, he was really bad against Portland Trailblazers, and he was really good against the Dallas Mavericks. So I mean, again, a mixed bag. But without further ado, I think we'll have to move on because we have the 3BL commissioner, Rohit Bakshi, waiting at the backstage. And we are going to move on a little bit early to our Indian Tadka section, which is the spiciest section on YouTube on the Patel and Kumar NBA talk show, the Indian Tadka.
We have a spicy segment of the Indian Tadka. We're welcoming 3BL Commissioner Rohit Bakshi. So before we introduce Mr. Bakshi, we have a little intro video that we would like to show about the 3BL. So cue the tape. Oh man, that intro video got us really hyped. Welcome, Mr. Rohit,
Right.
the commissioner of the 3BL. Welcome to the Patel and Kumar show.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think the first time I'm meeting both of you. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
Rohit. Of course, it is so exciting. It is so exciting to have you on the show, and of course, you've been a revolutionary person because you got the first
Thank you.
professional 3-on-3 basketball league to India, giving an
Yeah.
opportunities to so many youngsters to play this wonderful game. And I can be more excited to learn more about 3BL season 3, which is going to come up very, very soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
So first, let's get started, Mr. Bakshi, with your journey. So
Yeah.
you were born in India and grew up in Japan. So I want to know how was like life like in Japan, especially as an Indian.
Back in those days when I went, there were very few foreigners back there, and I was one of the foreigner kids. So there are 600 kids, and I was the only foreigner. Japan has taught me many, many things, but what I still carry is discipline and the patience that they have taught me. Japanese education is very different from the rest of the world. They don't focus too much on the education from the youngest time. They're more focused on your etiquette. They're more focused on human, as like, as a human, we need to grow rather than education, like in terms of a score. So that's something which taught me really well. I had ups and downs, and Japan itself is still connected to me, whatever I am, and but all those things that I'm doing is all because I went to Japan, and I'm still connected to Japan.
What a wonderful story there, Mr. Bakshi. And we'd like to know more about 3BL. What inspired you to start such a league, especially in a country like India?
You see, I came to India in 2009, and what inspired me the most is when I was playing in the ground. Most of the players in India, they focus more on the prize money. They focus more on how much money they are making, and it's just because there's not much opportunity for the players, and talent don't really get one. We didn't have a professional basketball league back then, and there is not many opportunity for the Indian players to even go abroad and play. There are a few who went in Europe, some went in US with a scholarship, but it is never really there for open, and it's not something for the major part of the people. And plus, when I realized that there is a lot of potential in India, people don't really realize that we are we have tall people, we have strong, we have people with a good athleticism, we have a good shooter, but it's just that we never get found. We've never been looked at that way.
Yeah.
Satnam was found in back in 2010, and then when he went to US, he was there because he was like, he was 7'2" and from the age of 15. But there are a lot of players that when you actually even look at the game of 3BL, we have a lot of players under 6 feet who are performing really well. And that is something which really inspired me, that in India what we need is to grow the talent is the league. And ever since when I saw this kind of uh, opportunity or a talent being wasted, that was the moment when I realized, I want to do something in India. And back in 2010, I actually formed one of the club. It's called Young Guns. I formed with a club of all the kids around my neighborhood. We had about 50 kids, age between 10 to I was the eldest, but 30. And we played. I trained them. I worked out with them. We gave them a lot of opportunities to play. But when we realized players need more, they need to find a way to make money. They need to find a way to get scholarship to college, high school, or foreign. And I need much bigger platform. I never stopped working out, and I never stopped dreaming of what and how. What really clicked me was in 2015. That was the opportunity. I would say that was more like a turning point for me. There was a player. You guys have met him too. His name is Inderbir Singh Gill.
Yeah.
I met him in 2012, and he was the first guy that I thought I need to I want to make it too professional, because when I played with him, I realized he's 6 feet, and he's out of doubt one of the best NRI player that we have. And but he was never getting any opportunity in US, even though he has. If you look at his background, he has amazing background and
Yeah.
amazing experience.
Yeah.
And even in India, he has thousands and thousands of followers. But when I introduced him in Japan, Japan was never ready to take any player who's not tall. They already have a lot of guards.
Yeah.
Then I shift my focus, and then I had an opportunity to introduce Amjot and Palpreet, Amjot Singh Gill and Palpreet.
Yeah.
Not Palpreet. I'm sorry. Amritpal Singh.
Amritpal. Yeah.
Amjot and Amritpal. And they were the first who got selected in Japan. And then when they were selected, that's how I started building up a lot of my connections in Japan. And that's where I met. That's where I come across 3x3. 3x3 was 3x3 started in Japan back in 2014, and 2015 was their second season. And when I saw that platform, I realized this is it. This is something which can be brought to India and then worked out. And instead of bringing them, what we realized that we have to prove. Like, I have partners in Japan, I have people who are associates to me. I said, there was a thought that in Japan, in a foreign country, in their league, four Indian guys playing in their league and then winning the championship. That is something which struck me in 2015, and then we bought the team in 2016. That's when that's when I formed the team with myself, Amjot, Inderbir, and Bikram. Bikram came from Canada, Inderbir came from US, Amjot came from Chandigarh, and I was from Japan. So it was four Punjabis, four Indians, and four different nationality, and playing in Japan, and the rest is a history. We won the championship in 2016 in Japan, and we represented World Tour. We even represented World Tour final. That was the year we went to World Tour final, and we became runner-up. We lost at the final, but that was the first time that any club team of Japan have become the number second in any sports in the world.
Yeah.
That actually created a huge that created huge buzz in Japan and as well as in FIBA. They were always wondering why they're representing Japan, when the three of them are Singh and Gill, and that's when we got opportunity, and then we got the talking, and in 2017 we got the exclusive right for India and then Indian subcontinent. I put together all my partners in 2017, and we did a show in I remember that was in September 16 and 17, 2017. That was a road to Mexico. That was more like a showcase event that we did an event, and the championship went to Mexico. Although we did not perform well in Mexico, but the show itself in Japan, in India, was a huge success. And in 2018, we launched the league as a season one,
Yeah.
and the rest is history.
Absolutely. I mean, let me tell you, watching some of those games in season one, season two, of course, in season two, you also had the Women's League. I mean, it's awesome. It's exciting. And, the whole concept about 3-on-3 is that it's quick, it's fast, and, it's action packed like all the time. And that's what makes it more interesting as well. And of course, huge shout out to Inderbir, you, Amjot, and Bikram on winning that, 3-on-3 championship as well. So go ahead, Shivam.
Like Mr. Kumar said, that's amazing. Your journey and how you started the 3BL and your vision. For 3x3 basketball is really being able to come true. And you're a trailblazer, and an entrepreneur. So doing great things. And the 3x3 tournaments are very fun to watch. Like Mr. Kumar said, they're fast paced. They're exciting. A lot of points scored. The fans really get into it. So it was just an amazing experience. It looks like so. But Rohit, so what are some of your milestones that you've had, for the 3BL in the first two seasons that you've completed?
So one, we wanted to showcase the game in all over India. So in season one, we did in 6 different cities. We covered north, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
And also our first milestone was to get to Indian team representing in a World Tour final. And that's exactly what we did. We had a team from Delhi. They represented World Tour final, although they did not perform well. But our first milestone was achieved. And next was we wanted to host the World Tour Masters in India. And we did that exactly that in the same year. And once we completed the league, we organized a World Tour Masters, and we managed to send the team to World Tour final in 2016 itself. So in 2016 and 17 was the time when we wanted to cover our most of the milestone, which we managed to do it in 1 year.
That's incredible. So, Rohit, I know you have a slam dunk Japanese animation with you, so that you've had, for a pretty long time, and it's pretty significant, to you. So, kind of tell us what does that animation mean to you?
It's more like I would say a Japanese thing. I grew up in a Japanese culture. I have been influenced a lot with animation. it may sound childish, but it's, everybody have their own way of starting any kind of sport.
Yeah.
In fact, in my generation, if you look at in Japan, there's a lot of people who've been inspired by this animation. This animation actually teaches you the way of life, the way to is not just about the game. It's about how the life should be, how the leadership, how the teamwork should be, how the discipline should be, how the work hard should be, how your work ethic should be. And plus I resembled a lot of things in that game. I realized the main character in that animation was very similar to myself, and that actually motivated me. I came across that animation age of 12, and that's when I started playing basketball. And that's still something that I still carry. In fact, I have something I want to show you today. This is the animation figure I've been carrying. This is one of the exclusive pieces which is only sold in Japan. I remember when I got in, when I went there a couple of years ago, there's actually a 5 pieces, but he's my favorite. I've been wearing 10 for a long time.
And he's wearing the Jordan shoes. I know he's wearing the Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
1984.
Jordan 1.
The Jordan ones.
Shoes. I'm not been able to get hold of the shoes. Specific this color yet. So if you get opportunity, I would love to get these shoes as well.
Yeah, no, they're very hard to come by. They're very exclusive. Because they're the original. The Jordan ones, as you said. So go ahead, Mr. Kumar.
Yeah, moving on to I think the audience is all waiting. So we would like to, of course, know more about what's coming in the future. So please tell us about what's going to happen in the coming season in 3BL.
All right, there are a couple of announcements. This is the special announcement that I wanted to make. Although this is going to be. Hold on. I have a couple of dates. I have a cities. So, all right. Let me start with registration process. So, in this time, in November, we have before Diwali, we have launched a platform on our website, 3BL website. That's where any player from any part of the world and any kind of a background can do their registration. There are different kind of a level of authorization that you will get. There are professional, there are corporate, there are amateur, and so when you do get a chance, if you are interested in playing in a league, the first thing that you need to do is that you need to do your registration, and we made that online, and we made it exclusively. Yeah, there you go.
You can keep talking, Rohit.
Yeah, you can see it on the right top corner. You go to the website. This is where you click, and then this is where you register. Once you registered, you'll get no notification on your email. And the only you can select different category, but unless you are not a professional, or if you are not being recognized as a professional, you won't get that special authorization to be registered on the category of a professional player. So there are different kind of a category that we have made for all sort of people who want to register. And once you register, you get a notification email, and then you get your own account. You can go to the website and you can register. You can have your own page. It's like a Facebook. You can have your background. You can put your photograph. You can put your profile. This way, it's easier for us to identify you and address you, and then give you a push notification for any update which is coming up.
So also, fantastic, Mr. Bakshi. I think all basketball fans and basketball lovers, the registrations for the 3BL Season 3 is now open on their website. So, of course, if you're a professional player, if you're an amateur player, or a corporate player, you have the opportunity to get selected to play for the 3BL 3-on-3 basketball championship. And, of course, I don't think fans in India, of course, are super excited with this, Mr. Bakshi, and we wish you all the very best. Go ahead, Shivam.
Yeah, and also the talented ballers in the U.S. and around the world, make sure you sign up and try out, for the 3BL. It's going to be a great opportunity, to really be able to play basketball and really be able to enhance your skills So Mr. Bakshi, kind of tell us about the tryout, the tryout dates and like where the tryouts are going to be.
Yeah, so we are before the season 3 starts, we are hosting 4 different tryouts. We're starting from we'll have in north and south and east and west. We'll start from north. In north, we will do it in Chandigarh. That is on 2nd of May, and the other round is going to be in Aizawl, 8th of May, and other round is on Chennai in 16th of May, and the last one is going to be in Goa, 23rd of May. So if you're on any
Awesome.
part of the region, it's going to be for the both genders. You have to be above 18 to participate, and you can come to any of these tryouts. You can't come to. I mean, I'm sure there are guys who's going to come to 2 or 3, but we won't allow that. So just make sure you only pick one, and whichever is the closest to you, make sure you come to that. And before you do,
Absolutely.
and anyone who does, I will request them please register yourself first, so that we know we can avoid a lot of hassle.
Of course. So come on, audience, there are going to be 4 tryouts. 2nd of May, it starts in Chandigarh. On 8th of May in Aizawl. 16th of May in Chennai. And 23rd of May in the beautiful beach city of Goa. So all you Indian or, of course, international players, you have the opportunity to try out for the 3BL. But first and foremost, I would request you, everyone, to please go register on the 3BL website and register yourself for the tryout. Of course, logistically, you would want to try out in the closest city that is possible for you. But once again, you have the choice of all 4 cities. Once again, 2nd of May in Chandigarh, 8th of May in Aizawl, 16th of May in Chennai, and 23rd May in Goa.
Oh man, that's so exciting. 4 locations, and like Mr. Kumar said, whatever one's closest to you, go out there, try out. This is a wonderful opportunity. So Mr. Bakshi, when is the 3BL season 3 going to start?
All right, that's the big one. So we are planning, and I'm assuming things will get better. We'll have a vaccine by then, and there's a lot of things will get better. So based on all the situation that we have, all the that we have acquired so far, we are planning to do the league in August and September. So there'll be a 2 months, and the dates are not being finalized. But those of you know how the system works. We only do it on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So it's going to be the first Saturday, Sunday, the last Saturday, Sunday of September. We are planning to do 6 rounds, and this is going to be our basic platform. The way we did it in season 1 will be a Saturday and Sunday. This is exactly the same way FIBA World Tour or a FIBA Challengers are done. So we are going back to our original platform, and we'll be doing it on a Saturday and Sunday basis for the both male and female league.
Wonderful news there, Mr. Bakshi. Once again, I think everybody is waiting for 2020 to get over for obvious reasons. And all basketball fans in India are, of course, excited about 2021 because season 3 of 3BL kickstarts from August. And of course, please register yourself. And of course, do try out, which is in the month of May. Go ahead, Mr. Bakshi. And how many cities are we looking at this time?
Okay, this time we are looking at 6 different cities. So 6 stops, 6 different cities. And one of the cities that we are planning to do it in Sri Lanka. So this will be the first time we're doing international. It'll be a 5 in India, 1 in Sri Lanka.
Wow.
Fantastic, fantastic. That means I need to get my passport ready, Mr. Bakshi.
Yeah. And we need to make sure all the international flights are open.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it would be a great opportunity for the Patel and Kumar show to probably have a nice exclusive coverage of the 3BL if possible. Of course, we'll talk about it in the future.
Definitely.
I think I'm excited about this season.
Oh, I'm pumped.
I'm hoping there are a lot more international players we get to watch.
Definitely. That's something I mean, we are hoping international flights will be open by then, and we'll get to invite a lot of our players as well. And we will have at least one international player in each team. So there'll be a spot for 12 international players, NRIs, OCI, and international players
Yeah,
to come to India and then play in 3BL.
Amazing.
absolutely,
Amazing
absolutely.
opportunity. So, Mr. Bakshi, I know you have 3BL merchandise you want to show us. You have
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a new thing that we have made. So in today's show, I'm gonna be launching and introducing for the first ever our 3BL merchandise. There are three merchandise that we have made this year, and I know there are some of them are messaging me already. Okay, so one of them I'm gonna start with small, and then I'll gradually go up to the bigger one.
Sure.
All right. The first one is the band. You
nice.
can see closely. It's a 3x3 on outside, and there is a 3BL logo on inside. This is exclusively available only on a 3BL website. This is the merchandise we're gonna be launching. This is the first one. All right, and because of all those things are happening, we have come up with something which is going to be very useful to all of you. That's we have made a
Wow,
new
very
mask.
nice.
A mask.
Yeah,
See
the other
this?
side. Yeah.
You have a logo on this side. It's a nice black, and it goes with most of your clothing, and the fabric is good. And also, the way we have made it, it's something that you can adjust to your size, so you can make it. You
Wow.
can stretch, or if you want to tighten up. And last but not least, there's a lot of people who knows Wilson basketball. They've been playing it.
Yeah,
This
of
is the
course.
official basketball that we play in a 3BL. This
Wow.
time, there you go.
Wow, nice.
Here we got the branding. This is the first time in Wilson is selling a basketball. This is a 6 size with a 7 size weight. It's an official 3x3 ball. This is played in the 3BL. This is played in all the FIBA events. This is something we'll be launching it and selling it along with other two. This is going to be available on our 3BL website exclusively. And in fact, Wilson ball itself is not available. This is exactly the same ball, same engineering, and same technology. It is just that instead of a 2 3x3, we have a 1 3x3, and a 1 is a 3BL.
Hmm.
Awesome,
We're going to be using
awesome.
the
I
same
mean,
ball in the league as well.
You have
yeah,
very cool merchandise, Mr. Bakshi. And when will this all be launched and available to the public?
All right, so this all will be available on a 15th of Jan. So the 15th of Jan, 7 o'clock morning onwards,
Okay.
this will be available on a 3BL website. On a 3BL website, there'll be a new column come up as a shop, and people can access to these three. Or over the year, we'll be launching a lot of more merchandise as well. I have few ideas on the stuff that I want to bring up. So before the league start, we will have at least 10 product, and will be something which will be useful on your daily basis or on during the training. And one thing, this blouse is exclusive, and we only have 400 of these. So if you are interested in
okay.
buying, please hurry. This is not. This is. It takes 6 months to get that shipment done. So once it is sold out, you have to wait for 6 more months to get the second next lot. So if you are
Okay.
interested in
And
buying the ball, make
yeah.
sure you access it on 15th of Jan.
So everyone log on to the 3BL website on the 15th of Jan, 7 a.m. India time onwards. You will have the opportunity to buy all three merchandise. That is the band, the mask, and of course the exclusive Wilson 3-on-3 ball. And I'm excited because I would like to really start playing outdoors. But a little bit moving away a little bit from just the basketball. I think the
Yep.
3BL name, is it inspired by the three Bakshi ladies?
No, no. League was launched before my kids were born after. That was a joke that we played around with. We were not expecting 3Ks before we started the league. It was something it came after. 3BL is actually stand for 3x3 Pro Basketball League Indian Subcontinent.
Okay, but I mean, it's just a strange coincidence that you had triplets, and
It is.
because
It
it
is
became
definitely.
three Bakshi ladies, So I think
I
it
love
was
it.
meant to be. It was like that divine intervention
Yep.
where you had that name 3BL and the three Bakshi ladies as well. But I
Definitely.
mean, good luck
That's
to you,
too
man. I
funny.
mean, it would be an exciting, to have triplets. I mean, I don't know how that experience is, but do you want to share something about that?
Oh yeah, they are two. They are 2 years old right now, and they're really handful to be honest. It's not easy to raise 3 kids at a time, and honestly, because of my work, I don't get. It's mostly my wife who's taking care of it, and their nana and nani who've been taking care of them since they were born. I'm really thankful for all of them to take care of them, but when they were born, there was one thing I was sure that I got my girls team for 3x3.
Exactly. I mean, you did that in one shot. Right, formed a
Yeah,
team right at the start.
I
You didn't
know.
need to even draft anybody.
Exactly.
Uh,
You already-
wonderful. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, and Magneto was saying, Mr. Bakshi, you're influencing the basketball in India, and that's certainly true, Magneto. And Aparna is saying,
Thank you.
thinking about change positively. You're doing many great things, Mr. Bakshi, and I know you have many more great things to come. And I cannot wait for this upcoming 3BL season. It's going to be really exciting. Some really talented teams, really talented players in there, international players. So it's going to be such an amazing season.
Thank you so much. We are really excited about
Again,
that too. Like this year, we couldn't do anything because of the situation, and we are really hoping to come back strong with the new players and with more dynamics. And this is something people have been looking, especially in the basketball community. This is something that they look forward to throughout the year. Now I've given you guys dates, and I'm sure by tomorrow a lot of people will start working out and doing the reverse calculation of when they need to do what. So this is very exciting for me as well. Like we have worked really hard on this year to get to bring all these dates and try to bring the platform back again.
absolutely. I would like to wish Mr. Bakshi you all the very best for season 3 of 3BL. Once again, viewers, uh, please register yourself on the 3BL website if you want to play in the season 3 of the 3BL 3-on-3 league. Again, the tryout dates are in May, 2nd of May in Chandigarh, 8th of May in Aizawl, 16th of May in Chennai, and 23rd of May in Goa. And of course, the league itself would start in August, September, and the dates would be out very, very soon. And of course, all you 3BL fans, you have the opportunity to get your hands on merchandise.
Exclusive
Log on,
merchandise.
exclusive merchandise. Log on the 15th of January, 7 a.m. onwards. You will have the, you log on to the website, 3BL website, to get a nice, beautiful band, the mask, or of course, the 3BL personalized Wilson balls. And of course, there are only going to be 400 balls in stock. So please hurry, everyone.
Yep. Please hurry and get all your gear. And the last thing, Mr. Bakshi, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about the future plans of the 3BL.
Yeah, you see, the reason why we started 3BL is to give opportunity to all the basketball players, and our goal is see 3BL and a 3x3. We have two. We came to India with the vision that we want to do something for India and also for the Indian bowlers. But now we are with this platform, our goal is to make sure that Indian players are earn as well as other player in the league. My vision is in the coming years, the Indian players will reach to a level where every season they'll be making a money in the millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and that's where we want to get to in coming years.
Well, good luck to you, Mr. Bakshi, the commissioner
Good
of
luck.
3BL. And once again, to
Thank
your
you.
entire team, all the very
Yep.
best. stay safe, and we are looking forward to season 3 of the 3BL Professional 3-on-3 Championship.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Good luck,
Thank
sir.
you, both of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bakshi, again for coming on the show.
Thank you, everybody.
And best of luck going forward. And I'll be packing my bags to Sri Lanka, Mr. Kumar.
Hey, if I don't
Sure.
if I don't get a flight ticket, I'm gonna swim across to Sri Lanka.
Wonderful. That's good.
But
All right,
good luck to you, and
guys.
a very
Thank you
happy
much.
New Year.
Yep. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Wow, that was exciting.
Wow.
That was exciting because 3-on-3 championship in India, the possibility of a world tour. And just to give you, a little bit of a trivia, is that the 3-on-3 is now an Olympic sport, making its debut in the Tokyo Olympics. Of course, it was going to happen in 2020, but now it's going to happen in 2021. So the 3-on-3 basketball in Tokyo Olympics making its debut, and the world tour is also one of the ways that you can qualify, of course, for the Olympics as well. So great news.
And the big reason Mr. Bakshi really wanted to say was that the 3BL is a players, it's a players league. They're very player friendly, and it gives the opportunities, if you play really well in the 3BL, to get the ranking points to be able to qualify, for the world tour, be able to represent your country. And if you continue to get the points and continue to be good enough, you can qualify for the Olympics. So there's great opportunities, for the 3BL is providing these players. And it's just really, really exciting. And I cannot wait to see, they have a really bright future, Mr. Kumar.
Absolutely. So let's move on. I think we're going to shift our focus back a little bit to the NBA. And but I think since, it's almost the end of 2020, I think good riddance to 2020. I think the whole world feels 2020 should just get over with. And let's start the 2021, nice and bright. And of course, we are hoping that everybody in this world is free of this pandemic and free of this coronavirus. I think everybody's brain has been fried since the past, 10 months.
Everybody's ready to say bye-bye to 2020 and hello to greener pastures in 2021. Well, as the year is ending, we have a special segment. Me and Mr. Kumar wanted to do an NBA 2021 wish list. So we're very excited to do this at the end of the year, trying to end on a positive note, Mr. Kumar. So I'll start out first. For my first wish, me and Mr. Kumar each going to be doing 3 wishes going back and forth. My first wish, I know it's kind of sounding as a homer, as a Spurs fan, but the Spurs make the playoffs, Mr. Kumar. It was rough last year watching the Spurs miss the playoffs because I'm used to, get them winning championships, ended up having 5 in their, franchise history. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that the Spurs can make the playoffs. And go Spurs, Vivek. Thank you for staying tuned and continuing to watch the show, Vivek. Go Spurs, go.
So you do have a Spurs fan in the audience, and I am a Laker fan, so I'm going to have a wish list which is pertaining to the Lakers, and that's very, very simple. I know they're expected to win the championship, but I'm going to wish that the Lakers repeat as champions in the 2020-2021 NBA season as well.
Oh man, so me and Mr. Kumar are both having our own selfish interests in our Patel Kumar in our wish list, but I love it, Mr. Kumar. In my second wish list, or my second item in the wish list, is going to be that All-Star Weekend 2021 happens. I know that it's not going to happen, but I'm still hope that it happens, in the future, and we're able to enjoy all the All-Star festivities, the dunk contest, 3-point contest, the skills challenge, as well as the NBA All-Star game.
Absolutely. I think it was going to be in Indianapolis, this year, and now it's been moved to 2024 is when it's going to be in Indianapolis again. But my second wish is that I want to see fans in the stadium.
Oh, man.
I really feel the NBA, the bubble. It was good for NBA to start, the playoffs last season in the bubble, and they had to end the season, of course, for commercial reasons as well. But it looks a little bit dry without the audience. I really want to see the audience, but I'm going to mix it a little bit because I think I also want the NBA to have a TV license in India, because there's no channel yet in India which is going to be which is showing the NBA, and that's kind of like really sad for the Indian audience. So hopefully in 2021, we see the audience in the stands and we see the Indian audience watching it on TV.
And my third item on my wish list is very similar to Mr. Kumar's. I want to physically be able to attend an NBA game at full capacity with all the screaming fans and be able to watch the action. And like I said, like Mr. Kumar said perfectly, yeah, it's not the same, with the fans. Even though you can hear the players talking and the coaches, talking in the squeaking of the shoes and the bouncing of the ball, but it's not the same without the NBA fans, who are the greatest fans out of any sport, Mr. Kumar.
Absolutely. And my last and final wish is pertaining to Indian basketball. I want to hope to see an announcement that the administrators in Indian basketball have a lot of wisdom, and they announce the start of a new professional basketball league in India.
Oh man, that has to be the best wish, hands down. Out of all, that's amazing. Let's hope that a basketball league happens in India. The fans definitely deserve it. They're some of the most passionate fans, in basketball. They love they love basketball. They enjoy playing the game and watching the game. So let's hope that a professional league happens in India. But Mr. Kumar, I'll let you tell everybody our Patel and Kumar combined wish for 2021.
I want to see Patel and Kumar NBA Talk Show be the premier talk show on any channel.
Woo!
And and especially for the Indian audience. And now that they don't have other shows running on TV, I think we get picked as the NBA talk show of India. That would be so awesome, right?
Oh, that would be amazing to be India's go-to talk show, and to be the premier talk show, because we have the most fun, we have the best analysis, we bring the best guests, Mr. Kumar. So that would just be incredible.
And I have one last wish. I know, but I think we didn't discuss it before. We touched upon it, of course. I think that wish list is going to be, because it is LeBron James' 36th birthday today. A very happy birthday to the king, LeBron James. May you win the MVP, may you win the championship, and may you win the finals MVP as well.
Yes, best of, happy birthday to LeBron James. Wish you the best of health. You're 36 years old, doing amazing things, on and off the court. So yeah, happy birthday to LeBron James, the king of LA.
Yeah, of course, Swayanshu Malik. I mean, we are all hoping. I know it is a wish list, but I just hope that 2021 brings in a lot of hope for basketball fans in India. So once again, happy birthday to LeBron James. And we have a great show coming up. We'll be coming back to you live again on January the 14th. And we have a very, very special guest joining us for that show. And it is Vin Bhavnani, the former assistant coach of the OKC Thunder. He worked with the Thunder for almost 10 years. And he's worked with Kevin Durant. He's worked with Russell Westbrook. He's worked with James Harden. So we're going to know his experiences, working with such a wonderful talent of players. And of course, we're going to have the regular updates as well. And Ekalavyas, the channel, thanks for reminding. It is also the birthday of India's brightest stars in basketball, Yadvinder Singh. A very happy birthday, Yadu. And,
happy birthday.
Once again, we hope the pandemic ends pretty soon and we are able to see these players in action in all India tournaments. Thank you, Aparna. Thank you for tuning in today. Once again, a very exciting show, 14th of January, 8 p.m. India time.
Yep, set your reminders, and thank you again, to Mr. Bakshi for joining the show. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. And again, a happy new year. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Ekalavyas YouTube channel, and also like, share, and subscribe to Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel. And follow the Patel and Kumar Twitter and Instagram pages. And feel free to DM me and Mr. Kumar. We would love the interaction, love the engagement, and happy new year. Continue to stay safe and healthy. And we'll see you January 14th. Until then, signing out.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year! 2021 is a new year.
Happy birthday
Hey,
to